delay. Since now we are already streaming live into our channel, the Crypto Ambassadors. So now let's get into this. I'm gonna share my screen and then drastically roll over with you. If you can see my screen, give me one in the chat. And see my screen, give me one in the chat. Because that is key and very important to me to understand. Just make sure for us to work together, and just make sure you do not tap in my screen. That is key and important. Do not chat, do not write in my screen. Okay, that will be very important. And the levels of discipline to that are very key to me as a person. And I would love to see so many people take them very important. So what we want to look at today, or the topic of our basis, ladies and gentlemen, is a very important, is a very, very important topic, and it is the basis of why we come here every morning. And it could be potentially very key for anyone who's here to pay a very close ear, or to basically make sure that they pay attention to this topic that is seated on your screen, called the technical analysis. By simple terms, to enable everybody understand where I come from, or why I decide now to bring this on board, it is simple that this technical analysis is something very simple that no one should cause any fear to you. That technical analysis just looks at the history. So you should not say these things are very hard, these things are very not easy to understand. It just looks at history of a coin. So you should not get worried that you will not be able to learn these things, you will not be able to use these things. So it is very simple. We look at the history of the coin, and we believe, as people who do technical analysis, we basically believe, and it is very important for anyone who's here to also believe, that the price, and this is a key move, that the price actually, or what is happening in the market, or the price of a certain asset repeats the price of a certain asset. And this is a very key thing before I go far, repeats itself. Okay. When a coin travels a journey, it travels the journey again. So when we do technical analysis, it's also very important for someone to know that we basically do not look at external factors. We use indicators to tell the chart story. Remember, technical analysis is a story. It is it's a story of what is happening. And so 90% is technical analysis, and 10% is fundamental analysis. You will find that we as traders, we do not do so much okay? We find ourselves, we do not do so much of fundamental analysis. we look at the history of the coin and we basically believe Bob speeding. Kwanza huyo Bob speeding. Smile Royal Q Daniel. You guys, when you disturb me, I'm just going to get you off this Zoom call. This time around, I'm not ready to suffer with anyone. Please ignore my whiteboard. It is key. Don't touch it. Just stay on the Zoom without touching my whiteboard. It is important to me. Because now, taking me back to settings, yet I'm dealing with old people is not something. Yes, I know I can decide to find better ways of getting off, but okay. So when we are talking about technical analysis, we are just looking at the history. Okay, we look at the history of the coin and we believe that price action repeats itself. So when the market, when a certain cryptocurrency makes a move, it repeats the journey again. And so we look at the coins themselves, and we also come up with indicators. Okay, come up with indicators, and we use them to help us interpret or read the history of this coin better. Okay, read the history of this coin better. And like I'm going to start right away before I go into details, because I want you to be following with me before I dig deep. Before I dig deep, you'll find that along the lines, there will be some common indicators you'll be using to help you make best decisions in the market. Okay, best decisions in the market. And I will start with that before I will do my serious depth drawings that we are going to be able to face, so that along the lines, as you learn, you still be able to make some money. So let me share my screen and I try to paint a picture of what you might face or what you might expect. But before I go to indicators and all these stuff that I want to talk about, I did a class here where I basically talked about the ability and the power to to be able to make these tools that are on your screen or that are on my screen, or to set this trading view to your style, or to set this trading view to what you want it to look like. I don't know if that makes sense. In short, it is called the ability and the power to customize. The ability and the power to customize. I talked about it the other time. I'm just going to just a little bit. I'm not going to do much because I talked about it. Looking at this coin on Binance called Okay. All right. So also, when I was here, I talked about the time frame. So before I dig into my next sharing, I want to base my sharing to those two factors before I go into the depth of the technical analysis. Because it is important for me before I start a very simple journey. Now, technical analysis, ladies and gentlemen, is not something very hard. Why, Julius? Because it is just the history of what has been happening. So if you learn the art of reading the story, for example, this is the story of Bome, USA. This is the story. Can you see? This is the story. Okay, this is the story. You see, this is the story. This is the story. Okay, so the story had an idea when the buyers were the ones in control. And if you look at this area here, I don't know if being looked at well, but if you look at this area here, this is where the journey started. And the buyers constantly became stronger. And then later we see it reached at the time, then the sellers came in. And you find that this is what I defined, that technical analysis in simple terms is we look at the history of this coin. And not only do we look at the history, we believe that price action repeats itself. Can you see that this same coin has come back to where it came from in the same place? Give me one in the chat if you can see it. It moved from around this area, went up, then it came back to the same area. Give me one in the chat if you can. I'm just using this coin as an example. Give me one in the chat if you can see that. And that's what we call price action. That's what we call price action. That we believe that whatever happens on any cryptocurrency, it will always repeat that journey. And so if you learn the art of reading the story, learn the art of interpreting the story, because the reason why we are here basically is to interpret the story. And the reason why I'm here is to teach you how to read the story. And if you learn the art of reading the story, then what you are doing is called the technical analysis, the power. So for you to do your reading very well, you need to customize your trading view to your taste. You need to get this trading view be more usable to you. So I just want to take you through a few things that you need to do. Make sure that your trading view is in your hands. And that's what I want to talk about now before I go into depth. Now, one, on my screen here, I think all of you can see, on one side here, we have the list of the coins we want to trade. And on this list, we have the last price, the change, and the change in percentage. And so I can decide to say, now I have understood that the list is here. Let me tap from where it came from so that it can disappear. so that I could have a wide view of my screen. At the same time, I can tap again and it appears again when I need it. You are learning to use trading view a little bit better. So I will tap on it and it will disappear. Next, since we are going to be trading, you'll discover that your eyes are very important in protecting you to live longer. Because it is very dangerous for you to make money, ladies and gentlemen, and then you do not enjoy the money you make. Give me one in the chat if I'm right. Give me one in the chat if I'm right. It is very dangerous for you to learn a skill and then you cannot be able to enjoy the money because you have been looking at these phones for a very long time and now you have eye effects. And that's why now we come here on our screen, we could just double tap in our screen, or we could right double tap on our screen. We just double tap on these charts and the chart settings will appear. And when the chart settings, you tap or double tap on the candle and the chart settings appear, you will come here on the body of the candle and you choose the green color. Make sure you make it the opacity 100 so that it becomes real green. Then that is for the buyers. Then for the sellers, also find a bright red color and make sure the opacity is to 100. Come here on the borderlines of the candle, make sure it is green, and also make sure the red is light. Okay, the wick, make sure it is green for the green candles. Those are the buyers, and make sure the red is also red. So you will find that your color in our screen, we can definitely see perfect, nice looking green candles for the representing buyers and the light red candles representing sellers. And that is step one. So we double tap on our chart again. Now we have finished. Now, make sure this precision or data information, it comes as default. And also make sure your time zone is moving with your time area. Now, UTC time. In my area, we are at a +3. And so I choose Nairobi. Also come in here and look for a country that is near you and your area and make sure your time zone is at your area. Now someone will be asking, where is time zone important? Why is time zone important? Okay, so let me just get my annotation on, because when I start now getting very serious, I will not get back to this stuff. Can we all see this area? You see here on my screen, I'm in the 4-hour time frame. Talk about this today. On my screen, you can see that it is 2 hours, 45 minutes, 26 seconds for this candle, remaining for this candle to be complete, to have finished 4 hours. It started. Give me a 2 in the chat if you can see that. That it is remaining 2 hours, 45 minutes, 8 seconds. Now, this is moving according to my time zone. Please, let's participate. When I request for a 2, type a 2. When I request for a 1, type a 1. Do not type the opposite, because when you type the opposite, it means 2 things. Either you have not understood, or you are just trying to be stubborn. And when you have understood, there is no indicator in my screen. I have not put any indicator in my screen. This is just a normal chart. No indicator that is in my screen. Okay? There's no indicator in my screen. I'm trying to move slow. Okay. Now this I've said, if you're using a PC, if you're using a phone, the approach could be a little bit very different. You need to tap on the three dots below, then you go to chart settings. There are three dotted lines below, then you go to chart settings. So now here, you can either double tap on any of these charts, or you come down here on this icon. It will also give you the same thing you need. Then you tap on settings. And this is, so now we have finished the symbol. Choose your time zone. Let us go to the status line. Now, when we talk about the status line, we are talking above here. One, you can decide to have the logo of the coin. When I tick the logo of the coin, let me just show it to you. When I tap on the logo of the coin, we are talking about the status line. And this is the status line, ladies and gentlemen, this one. So one, it has this logo of the coin. It has the name of the coin. It has the showing me 4 hours. It is showing me Binance. It is showing me this OHLC. What does it stand for? O stands for the open of the coin. What price did the coin open? 2, it talks about the highest price of the coin, the high. 2, it talks about the lowest price. The lowest price of this coin, the low, and also talks about the closing price of this coin. It talks about the open, the high, then it talks about the low, then it talks about the closing price. Now, the closing price is usually the current price. If you can see this price here, and you see it is the same here. Give me a 2 in the chat if you are following. I know these things don't look important, but let me tell you, my friend, if you don't understand these starting things, when now we get to the real game, when we get to the real game, you will get confused. Do you see this? It moves in corresponding to this. Now, I want to remind you what Coach Mopiwa discussed. Things run pandemonically. For things run pandemonically, I want to remind you what Coach Mopiwa discussed. I want to remind you what Coach Mopiwa discussed. So when you remember what Coach Mopiwa discussed, Coach Mopiwa discussed with you 2 types of candles. If my knowledge moves well, I remember he did that. He must have discussed with you 2 types of candles. And on these 2 types of candles, one, he discussed very important aspect of these candles. And I know you know, if you remember, he said that this green candle, this one, when it is starting to form, it forms what we call the open. Because I know you people, you might be forgetting now. Then it also does what we call the close. So the green candle will open from here. Then it will close from here. A red candle, this one, this red candle, for it will open from above here. And then it will close from here. So let me just move this. So this will be the close. This will be the open. Okay. So now the green candle will open from the red candle will open from above here, and then it will close below here. Then the green candle will open from here and close above here. And this is what is happening here. So when I talk about the word open, and when I talk about the word close, I'm just repeating what Coach Mo Pure discussed. Do you understand what I'm saying? Give me an chat. Give me an answer in the chat. When I talk about now, because on my journey, I'm just trying to paint a clear picture. When I talk about the open, when I talk about the close, you understand. Now, when we are talking about the open, we are talking about the buyers coming in the market with the green candles. When we talk about the open on a red candle, we are talking about sellers coming in the market with a red candle. And it is important because when I come here on my screen now, here, I may not talk much here. I say, okay, this is the green candle. The open, the close, all these are very, very important. And you, as someone on our call, you must be able to understand where I come from. Now, what about Julius? What do you mean by the high? What do you mean by the low? What do you mean by the high? And what do you mean by the low? Let me start with this red candle. Sometimes a candle may form what we call a wick or a shadow. Sometimes it might have a wick, sometimes it might not. But even if it does not have a wick, even if it does not have a shadow, this is the wick. You could call it a wick, or you could call it a what? A shadow. Sometimes it might have, sometimes it might not have. It gets a wick or a shadow. This highest point where the market went, the highest price, in short, it is the highest price. We call it the high. And the lowest price where the market went lowest, we call it the low. The low. Now, whether the candle is red or whether the candle is green, on this red candle here, this is the lowest. But still on this green candle here, this is the lowest price. On this red candle, this is the highest, or what you call the high. And on this green candle here, this is the highest, or what we call the high. Now I have a question and I need an answer in the chat. When I talk about the high, the low, whether the candle, for example, because before I complicate my journey, let me do something here. I don't want to bring confusion. This candle, this one, whether it does have a wick, the lowest price where the market started will be the low. And this price where the market went here will be the high. The same happens with this red candle. The lowest price here, whether the candle, this one here, the price will be the low, and this will be the high. So I have a question on my journey that we are going to talk about. When I talk about the high, the low, the close, the open, do you understand? Give me some answers in the chat. Because it is going to be a common lingua. I will not be now saying, here I will be saying, this candle, on its move to the downside, it formed a low. This candle, on its move to the upside. So I will be talking about the low, the high. So I want you to be accustomed to it. So that when I talk about it, I'm not speaking bolingo, kwankwara, kwankwara. And people are saying you are speaking in tongues. Someone can come on your Zoom and say, I went on the Zoom, and when I entered there, this man was speaking in tongues. The Holy Spirit had come over him. Hey, you know God can do miracles. Someone is talking about miracles, but someone is talking about something he doesn't understand. So now, where is my trading view? Sorry for that. Now, when I tap on my charts, on my candles, I can decide. Now, I know the coin I have. So already your status line. So I don't need the logo of the coin. Even I may not need the title of the coin because I know the coin. That the coin I picked is BOM or BOM. But if you want it, you can tick it. Okay, now there is this one talking about market status. When I tick this market status, let me show you on my screen. It will be showing me that the market is open. But I know that the market is open. I know that this coin is in 4-hour time frame. I know that it is gourmet. I don't know if I'm making sense to you. So I may not need all that congestion on my screen. We're on status line. But change values, volume, last day change values. So all these, let me show you on top. So now you see, now here it shows me whenever there is a change. I don't know if you can see. I'm moving very slow. Whenever there is a change, it shows me the volume that is available in the market for this particular trade. It also shows me the change that is happening. So all this information, I may not need it. It's too much for me. So I can customize my trading view to what I want. I don't know if I'm making sense. Then when we scroll down here, there are titles of indicators, arguments, backgrounds of these indicators. So the last day, I don't need the last day change value. So you see, I've removed it since yesterday. I don't need bar change values whenever it changes. I may not need all this. Maybe I will need the open, the high, the close, and maybe the volume that is happening on this particular band. And if I want also, I can still customize my trading view and I say, I don't need the title of this coin because I know it is Bome. I want to reduce congestion on my chart so that it looks nice for me. Then there is this one showing status market. Market is open. For what? I may not need it. Okay, let's continue with a custom. You can customize. So that is that area of the status line. Let's go to scales and lines. Let's go to scales and lines. Now, currency and unit. When I say that it is available on my mouse, what do I mean? Let me show you. When I move my mouse, do you see the price of the coin appears? You see, whenever I move my mouse in my chart, can you see that the price, you see? Whenever I touch, the price appears. Whenever I touch, the price appears. Give me one in the chat if you can see. Wherever I move my mouse, the price of that area appears. So it means that it is available on my mouse. Okay, good. So now I can decide to say, I'm not interested. You are customizing. What I'm talking about is you want your scales and lines. So now scale A and L always visible. What is scale A and L? So do you want it to be visible on the mouse or you want to be invisible? When I say I want it invisible on my mouse, let me show you. When you see this is scale A and L. This is L, this is A. This is, so it is down here. It is visible on my mouse. It means whenever I can come here, I'm trying, what is happening is not something great, but what is happening here, let me first show you. Let me remove it. Let me put it back. What is happening, it is the movement of this scale here. If I can show it to you. Yes. Do you see this scale here? This is the scale, because you know people can get confused. This is the scale. The visibility on how much I see on this scale is depending to me. When I make it visible on my, let me remove this one. When I make it visible on my cursor here, when I come to touch this area, you see it is visible. So I can do this when I put my cursor here. I can do this. I don't know if I'm making sense. This. So I can play with my scale here. I can tap on A, it reduces, maybe tap on L, it goes up, tap on A. So this is the scale. We are talking about the scale. Give me one in the chat if that is clear. Give me one in the chat if that is clear. We are customizing. We are trying to get used to our trading view to use it better. I know people are leaving. I know people, this looks like something of not interest. But trust me, when I start now becoming serious, I will not go back to this. I will be just, but I want to use this trading view. When you understand what is happening, you can also go and customize yours. Let's tap back on our chart, and then we do scales and lines. Now, me personally, I do not want to see this because it's not useful. Because when I go back here on my chart, when I say it is invisible, I still have the power to move this when I put my cursor there to make it the way I want it. So I'm not interested in it. So let me bring back my blackboard and then clear that area. Okay, next. I will tap scales and lines. Okay, no, scales and lines. Scales and lines. Now, we have log price bar ratio. When I tick this and I press OK, you see now I have locked it. Can you see how my screen is playing? Now, the other time it was not locked. This price bar has been locked. Now I don't have power to move it away. I don't know if you are understanding. The other time you see I would put this cursor here, tap on my screen, and move my mouse up and down. Now I have locked it. It can't move. When I squeeze it, it brings the full picture. When I move it like this, so now these price lines, the prices of this coin have been locked. Give me a 2 in the chat if you have understood that. Why? Because I have ticked the lock of this bar ratio. It has been locked. Give me a 1 in the chat if I'm clear now. So now I have locked it. I don't know if you're understanding, give me a yes. If you're understanding, give me a yes. Now, these classes I'm teaching, you know, some people here are playing. These classes I'm teaching, you need to pay a lot of money. May I tell you a fact? I know some people are taking my classes light. You pay someone a lot of money to take you and do this. Just to show you what I'm showing you. You pay them money. If you don't pay them, they don't show you. It is only Crypto Ambassadors that offers this for free. People pay money to attend what I'm teaching now. Because when you understand this, making money becomes very easy. It is only Crypto Ambassadors that we give this for free. So this one, the chart has. Now let's go back and unlock it. So tap here, we come on scales and lines and low price bar ratio, not interested. Now, then I will. Now I have unlocked it. You see? Now, can you see the difference? Now my screen can move up and what? Up and down like this. The other time when I used to do it, it just needed to move the whole chart. Am I clear? Give me the chart if it's now clear. So now here it is unlocked. Can you see the difference now? Now here I can move it, squeeze it, to come close like that, or widen it to show me my candles very clear. Even if I come here on my screen, I can move it this side, this side, this side, this side, this side. Okay. If I decide to lock it, those of you who are not understanding, when I come here on chart, tap on scales and line, and then lock it. Now see the difference. Now this is the difference. Now you see, now it is locked. So it can give me a wider view and also a bigger view of the trade. Give me a 2 in the chat if it's not. I've shown you when I lock it and I've shown you when I don't. Have you seen the difference? The difference when I lock it and the difference when I don't lock it, right? Okay, so let's continue. This is called customization. It's up to you. I'm about to finish. Scales and lines. Now here we have scales placements. You see now scales placement, I can get my scales stuck on the left. Can you see? I've tapped on stuck on the left. You see now my chart is on the left. Can you see, guys? Now my prices are on the left. Can you see this? I've moved my prices to the left. But remember, the market moves from the left to the right. So I don't see it useful for my prices to be on the left. So I'll come back here and I will stack my prices to the right. So I'm doing what optimization. Do you see now? Now my prices. Now also, look here, guys. since I had locked my screen, you know this chart is locked. When I tap in my cursor, it just moves automatically. It cannot move in pieces, you see? So I'll just get back here, scales and lines. Now, when I come and I say auto, so it will choose, it will just be automatic. But I'm strict. I want my prices on the right because the market moves from the left to the right. Give me a 2 in the chart if I'm clear. The market moves from the left to the right. Okay. So I do not want to disturb because it's on the left to right. I want my prices the other side of the chart. Okay. Good. I don't want my screen to block, so I will untag that. Okay, so let's continue. Down here. Now we have price labels and lines. Now, guys, what you will see on our screen, this, you know, now you see some things like this dotted line in the middle here. You remember I'm the one who put up this cursor. Okay, I'm the one who put up my cursor to have this, but I can decide to. And when I tap it here, I can usually see what is happening on my price. But what you see, this dotted green line here, this dotted green line in the middle here, someone is saying I cannot see it. You see, there is this line. Do you see this one? This dotted, it's a price line, this one. So it turns green when buyers, when the candle is green. It turns red when sellers, the candle is red. As simple as that. Okay. So I'll clear that. Now, I feel like I've told you enough. But let me finish up. Now, what are overlapping labels? When I untick all these, when I tick all this, you see when I untick this, let me first start off. You see, when I started, there was a time here showing me how many minutes are left for this bar to close. But I've unticked it. So maybe that I don't need it, but I need it. It's very important. So you see, the price will appear. Okay. Now, what is this plus button? Now, when you talk about this plus button here, this one is getting out of my mind. But I'm going to get it clear. Let me first remember. Let me first scroll down here. It is I'm not remembering. You know, sometimes I reach my mind and I thought enough, but I will try to move in. So when you tick up there, one, you are working with the value line. So the value line. So if your value line on your symbol, you also want the name of the coin, BOME. So BOME will appear, but I don't need this. Previous day close. If you want the value of where did this coin close yesterday, it will always appear. If you want the line where it closed, it will always appear. If you want it to have a special color, maybe you say for you want it to be blue. The previous day, so you understand that in your chart, the blue line or the blue color is the previous day close. Then it comes to maybe these are financial indicators. You want them to show by value, or you want them to show by name. For example, if I open this indicator here, hidden here, let me say smart money. So you see smart money will be appearing whenever my trades are happening. It will be everywhere, the smart money thing. It will be appearing on my chart. But I don't need it. I don't need this smart money to be appearing everywhere in my chart. Am I making sense? So that's why I come back here. I come back here on scales and lines. Then I come down here. Then I come down here. This is the second time I'm teaching this, so I don't need the name. I also don't need the value. Now, pre and post market. high and low, if you want your chart to show you the high and the low of that particular coin you are trading, it will always appear. But now you see, guys, so this is the high, this is the lowest point, this is the highest point. This blue thing that is up here, this is the lowest point, and this is the highest point of the previous day. Give me a 2 in the chat if I'm making sense. I'm about to finish. Give me a 2 in the chat if I'm making sense, if you are understanding. I come back here. I'm still on scales and lines. Then I scroll down. Then bid and ask. When you talk about bidders are buyers and are sellers. So bids and asks. So it will show you here they are bidding. This is the price where people are bidding to buy. This is the price where people are bidding to sell. A bid, it's an order. So it will give you prices on your chart where people are bidding to sell, where people are bidding to buy. Now you see now in my screen here, there are so many dotted lines. This one for yesterday. When the buyers, when those that I want to sell with, the red thing appears here. When they were, so you see, to me as Julius, I don't need this too much in my chart. Okay, maybe I would leave the lowest and the highest for yesterday, but I don't need this too much. Now the bidders are bidding but so I don't need so much. You see, it causes even eye issues to me. So me, I don't need it. But if someone needs it, you are free to use it. Okay, so I will tap here, come back on scales and lines, and then to me, I don't need it. So I will untick it. The high and the low, I will leave it. The previous day, I will maybe leave the value, but I don't need the line. Okay, I might leave in the value, but I may not need the line. But also the value of the previous day, the value, I also do not need it me personally. Maybe I would leave in those lines that show yesterday's high and yesterday's low. And so now I'll come down here. So here, days of the week. So do you want your days of the week? Which format do you want? Do you want to start with the day, the month, and the year? It's up to you. How do you want to see your format? 24 hours. Okay, that's the format. So I'm done. Let's go to canvas. Now the canvas is the view. This is my last take, then we come to the end. The background. Now my background, since I used light colors, I want a dark black color. Since I used, you see, for example, let me put white. Now imagine, guys, I'm gonna be on my screen for a very long time. Does this look nice? Some answers in the chat. Does this look nice? Answers in the chat. Does this look, can I stay longer on my chart? Can I be able to look at my chart for a long period of time? Even now, someone says very nice, but this is damaging my eyes. This is damaging my eyes. The color is very bright, but it is affecting. It is too sharp. It strains my eyes. It causes me to feel pain. Now, yes, it might look nice for one person, but it's not good for my eyes. I don't want to make money. And someone is called Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Someone is called Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. This code. Guys, that name is owned by the president of Uganda. So since I'm gonna be on my chart for a very long period of time, I want my grid to be black because I need to protect my eyes and I want to make sure that my eyes are looking nice. Now, to me, it's up to you. But for me, this looks nice. Okay? For me, this looks nice. Give me one in the chat if you also, because I want to go to my laptop. Okay, I want to go to my laptop to protect my eyes. I don't want to get those sharp things appearing in my eyes because it might affect my eyes. Now, who's writing in my screen? Good. So let's go. Someone is here called Kaguta Museveni. Chai! President Museveni, you are also here to run candles. Sure. So now we have the grids. Okay, now back in my chart, you can see these lines. I don't know if you can see them. I'm coming to the end. Can you see these square lines? These are the grids. Can you see these grids? They help me get a better vision of my chart. You see these grids here? The one I'm talking about, okay? So I also want to show you how you customize that so that you could have a better view of your chart. So I'll come here to my canvas, and they are horizontal and vertical lines. You see, I can decide to make my horizontal and vertical lines this. I have a question. Does this look nice? Does this look nice to you guys? Okay, they are very light, the grids are on to the point. So yeah, me, they don't look nice. But I don't want, then another person may say, let me just pick up this again and I show you. Another person may say that on their canvas, they do not need the grids. For example, I put the opacity to 0 there, then I put the opacity also to 0 there. You see, on the other side, now this chart has no grids. Does it look nice? So it has not so much importance, but does it look nice with no grids? To me, it doesn't look nice, okay? It doesn't look nice, okay, when there are no grids. So they may not so be important, but they make my chart look nice. They help me enjoy my trading experience. So I just want to get back to my chart here. And I want to return my grids, okay? I want to return my grids. And let me just give you an example. So let me return my grids. Okay, okay. Someone may say that for them they love that gray color, but me I love this a little bit dark one, okay, and I love this a little bit dark one, okay. They are a little bit. I can customize it to my taste, and I need that to be my okay. So this is my chart. Okay, my grids are there. They are not so bright, but at the same time, in my grids, they are not so dark, but they are there, and they give me a nice look on my chart. And since I'm gonna be spending some time onto my chart, I personally like it. I increase my grids a little bit, opacity to something a little bit better, so that I could make it 100% because I like the color of my grids. Okay, all right. Okay. Now let's go to the cross line. What is this crosshair? Okay, so let me say I want my crosshair to be yellow and opacity to be 100, and I want it to be a line. Okay. Now, do you see when I chart? You see, whenever I come to my chart, this is what's happening. Does this look nice? Some answers in the chat. Does this look nice? So whenever I tap the chart, my crosshair line comes in. Where I want to see. You see, it doesn't look nice, okay? I don't know, but someone is saying for him it looks nice. It doesn't look nice at all. So whenever I come to my chart, there is that bright color that appears. It doesn't look nice at all. So I wanna get my chart customized to my taste. I don't know your taste, but this is my taste. So I'll come here on my canvas. I don't like it, man. Just get in there. And I just want something small. Yeah, I just want something small. Yes, I'm okay with the line. You could decide to say, let yours be dotted. Okay, I don't want it to be so thick. I also don't want it to make, you can just maybe try it but I'm okay with maybe the dashes, maybe the lines, so that it comes out well. Okay, now with the watermark. Okay, what is the watermark? It is just the name. Okay, someone may say, I want my watermark to be red. Okay, maybe you want to add another color. Okay, so have you seen some people who come up with the watermarks of their names of their company in the chart? Maybe I come up with a watermark and I name it Crypto Ambassadors. But you see, I love a simple life. So this is the watermark in my screen. So yeah. Have you seen this on Telegram? Have you seen this on Facebook? Someone in the chat, and you didn't know where it comes from. It's just the watermark. The name of the coin appears in the chart. Okay, so when you tick on the watermark, the name of the coin appears on the chart. And me, I don't like it. But if you like it, it's up to you. Me, it's none of my business. But me personally, I don't like it, and I'll just come here on my canvas and I will get my watermark off. Now let's go to the text. Now, I hope now I'm clear. Always the margins, I love my margins to be at 8. You see, when your margins, you see the margins are these. Can you see these moving, guys? Those are the margins. So you want to, when you want your margins at the bottom, okay, you want your margins at the top. I usually want an average margin. So this is, you see, so I'm trying to squeeze candles in between, but I want an average margin. An average. It is. I usually keep my margins at 8 all through to help me have a clear vision, and that is what I have for you on there. Let me now run to trading. Now trading, we have the buys and the sell buttons. If you untick them, can you see when you tick the buy and sell buttons, they usually appear on the top here. Okay, on the top here. So when you untick them, they will disappear. These instant buys, so these, it is up to you. You can have them on, have them off. And whenever you try to customize, you'll always get executions happening onto your screen. And then lastly, here we have events. These are ideas of different traders, break events, that is news that may be happening on a certain cryptocurrency you are trading, what other traders are trying to talk about that trade. I could love the ideas. I don't like the session breaks because they usually appear onto my screen. You see the session breaks whenever a session ends. Okay, whenever a session ends, there is that thing that comes in, you know, this 4-hour time frame. Whenever 6 candles, then there will be a light. I don't like it to appear on my screen. And I press OK, and this is my customized trading view. Lastly, down on this side, we have cursors, which we described. So you could be able to use your cursors very well. These are the lines, the parallel channel. These I'm going to be talking about them. Then we have these. These are different tools you could use. So, but I want to talk about one important tool. You see, when I pick this line, okay, the trend line, and I want to draw it, let me say from this point to 8, I usually, because I'm using the dark color, I draw my trend lines in white, okay, because I'm using the dark background, so I use bright colors. So you see, if I want to pick this trend line again, I need to go back here and tap on it. But there is a tool here. Stay in drawing mode. Down here, if you can see on my screen, let me just pick up my, stop sharing, sorry. I'm stopping now because I'm late already. I just wanted to finish this topic so that tomorrow I do not start again on the same thing. Okay, now you see, there is this lock. So I don't need, if I pick it now, I don't need to pick it again. So let me just come here, I pick it. So now it is there. So when I draw from here, and I draw my trend line, okay, maybe above around here. If I want to draw again, I do not need to tap again back to the other cursor. I just come back here and I draw. Okay, have you seen that? Give me one that if you have understood. So you can lock. You pick the tool once and you can use it several times. Give me one in the chat if you have seen that. So you use this tool. It's a very important tool to always lock so that you don't repeat over and over again. And then if I want to duplicate this, okay, you see, when I tap on this line and I want to duplicate it, maybe I could still go back here, remove it. But if I want to have this is, when I tap on it, I can move it. But I can decide to duplicate it. There are several ways. You could just come here on settings, then you tap on clone. You tap on clone. Then it will clone itself. It will duplicate itself into another, and you use it and press it anywhere you want to use it. Or you can tap on control and then be able to move it anywhere you want to move it. You can duplicate a line. Okay, but I'll be teaching it over and over as we go through that. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm already late. I want to thank you for attending today's class. I hope you can be able to customize your trading view to your own taste. And that has been our lesson number 3, Introduction to Technical Analysis. And then tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, I'll now start off with a new topic to enable you get me better. But thank you so much for attending today. You are able to learn something. Basically, I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for learning with us this fantastic morning. God bless you and have an amazing day. Till we meet up tomorrow on your journey to make you a professional trader. And I wish you all the best. From the Crypto Ambassadors back to you. The tradings are seated onto the YouTube channel, the Crypto Ambassadors. God bless you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for attending. I see some little things here, but we shall be discussing this over time. Okay, thank you so much. And I want to play for you my best song. No, I'm not a politician. I don't want to be concerned with the Museveni issues, guys. It's none of my business.